So we keep on. So now we pull up to the end of it. One of my boys sitting back here on the turret with the one of the Iraqi gunners on their vehicle, and as we're pulling up, we're right towards the end of the building, about to hang a right, and I hear they were getting help from a lot of people that mattered too, because like Iraq and Afghanistan, the Iranians were jumping deep into all that. What's funny is, I believe that we taught a whole bunch of Iranians how to build all these EFPs and stuff way back.
Oh, before the revolution.
Yeah. And they turned around and came back and taught Afghans and Iraqis how to build EFPs. Because IEDs, a big bomb is one thing. Depending on how it's detonated, if it's initiated by a mechanical, like a guy pushes a button, I can beat that pretty often. Not every time, but, changing my speeds, hauling butt, not hauling butt, this and that. And it's hard for me to calculate an exact distance and point, because he's way out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to hit dead on. And if I'm not on it, it might kick it up on two wheels or something like that, but not wipe you out. In the beginning, especially, they weren't as accurate. And then they got to where they're better at it and started daisy chaining them, where you get like a bunch of them in a row, setting those off. And then they started putting different initiators on, like a tripwire style of thing, pressure plates, that kind of stuff.
They started directing the bombs too.
Then that's the other thing,
which is crazy. So they become anti-tank or anti-troop carrier instead of that blast just going outward. Now it's all the forces going through the vehicle to kill everybody inside of it. Cell phones,
cell phones, remote control cars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because those things work real good.
Yeah.
And then they flip a tank on its butt, pow, straight upside down, and that charge inside. Just the overpressure inside the tank kills everybody in it. But then I wasn't ever terrified of it until I heard about an EFP being fired, explosively fired penetrator. That thing now, terrifying. And after I saw that it could burn a hole through a fully armored tank like hot butter, I was like, okay. And then they started hooking them up to lasers and stuff, so it's initiated instantaneously. So what they do is they start figuring out what is the distance from the tire to the window and all this stuff. And now
EFP.
And so it's going, pow, and it'll just fire it right through the window. Pow, fire that one right through the window. Don't even touch armor. And then that started being a little more scary then.
When we got on the ground in Afghanistan, are you saying that there were like Iranian government affiliated people on the ground there with them at that time?
They're there somewhere, yeah. And they're also funneling the money. And by the way, it was explosively formed penetrator, my bad. I don't want to be saying the wrong thing. I said fired.
Yeah, we're looking at
I've made that mistake before.
Ryan, what are we looking at right here? This powerful roadside bomb chart. What's this showing?
Hit the expand button.
This right here?
It's a daisy chain.
I don't know. So...
Oh, wow. What's that explosion right there? That's an EFP bomb in the terminal list they were showing going off.
So they're showing you the penetrator right there. So they put a concave plate in there inside a piece of steel or something, and they put a charge underneath it. So it's concave into it. And then so when it fires, it heats up that, which is usually the best is like a big chunk of copper. And it pits it, turns it convex, so it's flying like this. So it actually holds
like
the charge.
Yeah.
Turns this into molten copper, and it is moving ridiculously fast. And when it hits something, it just spatters that stuff everywhere. But it'll still penetrate a vehicle and still have something come out the other side of it. I saw one hit the back of a Bradley fighting vehicle one time. The Brits were driving in Basra. It went through 10 feet of dirt because it's a raised road. It went through the whole freaking road, ripped a big old chunk out of the back of the Bradley. Luckily, didn't quite get a big enough piece of it. And it left smoke rings as far as I could see with no arc, no nothing. Perfectly straight, still getting. Because, like things normally go up and you just kind of...
Oh, right. So it was going that fast.
Like a laser beam straight and never curved, never did anything.
So think about the evolution of how they did this. They wanted anybody fighting against them not just to die, but to die terribly. They started with taking things like styrofoam and putting it in between, the accelerator and taping it onto the explosive part. So when that explosive goes off, the personnel, let's say the gunner on the top of a Humvee, is not just getting shrapnel. They're getting hot styrofoam that's on fire sticking to them and burning alive. I mean, it's brutal. That's just straight evil.
I agree.
I don't care what anybody says.
Imagine 1.2 miles a second.
That's
that is getting. I'll tell you something scary though. One time we were doing a hit and it went into daytime, which we don't like working in daytime on hits. Downtown Basra, we hit that thing middle of the night. I don't like being in daylight when bullets flying around.
I like my bullets in the dark.
I like my stuff in the dark, yo.
I will hit you when you are not looking.
And plus when it's dark, I have a Spectre gunship sitting over here, which really helps things a lot. And if it's cheating, I don't give a crap. So we're rolling in here. We hit this objective. Blah blah. We grab a couple dudes, this that, throw them in the Humvees, and we're pulling out. And there's like 5 vehicles or something like that. And as you come out of the alleyway, there's a great big median, a huge median like the size of a football field, and the road, one way this way, one way that way, with light poles. As we pull out there's a riot. Looks like it's about to start a riot. So it's becoming daylight now. It's curfew's over, so now I can run around and act stupid if I want to without all this stuff. Well, as we're coming out, they're standing out in the middle of the road. We stopped, and somebody, I think one of the other guys, he calls in an inspector and says, put 340 millimeters in the middle of that median right there, right beside those people with tracers. And
with tracers.
Yeah, so it's still dark enough where they can't see the plane or hear it. They just know something's coming from the sky. So it goes whack, 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 whack. And then that did it. They dispersed immediately because they're like, what? God is mad. So let's get the hell out of here. So we keep on. So now we pull up to the end of it. One of my boys sitting back here on the turret with one of the Iraqi gunners on their vehicle. And as we're pulling up, we're right towards the end of the building, about to hang a right. And I hear, there's one vehicle in front of me, and I heard tap. I heard double tap back there. Someone was like, whoa. I stopped for a second. I was like, what's you got? And Eric's like, pull up about 20 more feet, man. You'll see. I said, okay. We pull up.
Okay.
And as we make this turn, my boy's going over the curb right here. New guy. Hits a haylock block and high centers the Humvee for a sec, which he liked to shit himself, which ain't no biggie. But he's shitting himself like, ramp, wouldn't go. But as that happens, we pull around the corner. There's a dead guy laying right here, double tapped in the chest. And I was like, oh, there he is. And I looked up, and there's a freaking 155 sitting here and a brick in the side of this building of an EFP. Somebody made it look like a brick. And it's EFP sitting here and a 155 sitting right here on a box. And the two wires, one's wired and one's not. And this guy was wiring them, and my boy saw it from back there and popped him.
That's a 155 artillery shell.
Yeah.
That's what they blow.
That's where you're like, this is the last thing I'm ever going to see.
Yeah. So they're ready for anything. I mean, we're talking probably like a 6-inch EFP. So we're just like, whichever one you pull in front of, that's one we're going to light. And my boy saw him wiring it and popped him. And it was right. I mean, it's
Thank God.
In my window, like that close. It's probably this close away right
Thank
here.
God.
Yeah.
God damn.
So then we smashed into the guy in front of us and keep driving, dude. Quit
You wouldn't be
around.
sitting here today.
Oh, no.
You wouldn't be sitting here today if you hadn't done that.
Nope. It's on top of his game.
Ryan, what were you doing when you were there? You were there for like a hot minute. How long? Like a month or something?
Where?
In Afghanistan?
2 months.
Okay. What were you doing when you were there?
That was when Congress put all the Marines in because they pulled all these units out and personnel out to go to Iraq. And then they just kind of forgot about Afghanistan. So we played this game twice.
Right.
It flip-flopped.
So you were there when it turned.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, now it's going to be a shit show again.
Yeah, but they overloaded it. And then they realized the Marine Corps doesn't have enough personnel to sustain both countries, our areas of operation in both countries. And so they pulled us back out, wasted so many damn resources.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Congress.
That's how it goes.
I digress. Yeah. But honestly, I have the utmost respect for anybody that served in Afghanistan. I don't care how dangerous it is or it's not a pissing contest. I'd rather be in Iraq than climb mountains all day. I can do urban combat, have no issues with that. But damn, you get in a firefight in those mountains or in those villages. I mean, especially you get caught down in one of those valleys. You can imagine being on one of those fobs. You know who Sebastian Younger is?
Of course. Yeah,
Dude.
Tribe. Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah. Amazing author.
Dude, his videos, Korengal Valley and Restrepo and all that. I mean, those dudes were just sitting ducks.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that, man.
If you can see I say this as a non-military guy. It's just common sense, even to someone like me in an armchair. Well, chair almost with arms. But like, if you can see what's in front of you, all right, you can work with that. But if you're out there like, fighting in the hills with Pocahontas, and it's like, they know what this is. They live off the land, and you're just dropped into this country. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
Yeah. Well, for the record, I'd take your ass to combat any day. So
listen, I'm good.
I'm dead serious.
I like it here in Hoboken. I appreciate the freedom of America very much.
When the zombies come, you're on my team.
Okay, all right.
And everybody's
if the zombies come, I'm in.
And everybody's coming to Texas anyway if the zombies come. So that's
where all the guns are.
Our Florida.
I got a spot in Florida.
Well, by then, Texas to Florida is going to be one country anyway. So I mean,
it might be
the whole bottom end of that.
I take my passport to Florida. It's a different country. I'm like, am I allowed in?
They're good.
I'm like, we good? We cool?
You can do anything you want in my state, okay?
Oh my God.
Anything you want.
Interesting state.
Well,
and you're actually from there too.
Yeah.
You live there now.
I'm
but
a
you're
native.
From there.
He's got a spread down there too, so you got room to do stuff.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.